Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It's another day, it's another video. Again, today I don't really feel like something. I woke up very tired. I think I did not sleep enough tonight. It's kind of hot in this building, but yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. I just decided I noticed it's already 6 o'clock, so I need to make a video. And because I was home tonight, I had to make sure that I make a video in the evening. I noticed that during the afternoon, when I made a video yesterday in the afternoon, the camera was fantastic, things were great, but there were just people around, which I don't like to film people. I don't like to make videos with so many people around me, because this is all about my opinion, and I don't have any ideas during the afternoon. So the evenings when I have the ideas and what I need to share, it's when I feel more confident, and that's because I'm in the evening. It's like I'm heading to bed, so I'm about to go to sleep. So I like to do this in the evening time. Anyways, today is Wednesday. It's my third day. I didn't have school today, so I guess that's why I became lazy. I was supposed to go to school and get deeper into the research, read some research paper, read some notes, but I was kind of lazy today. I just woke up like 8 o'clock, and I couldn't really just get a bath or go out and anything like that. I just stayed in the bed. But anyway, I don't know why. I think I'm still tired from weekend trip, but I think I need some energy drink if I need to keep up with the demand and the school and motivations. I need to do what I used to do when I was driving for Amazon, which is drink energy drink to stay active. So I'm probably purchase some energy drink tomorrow so that I can have that boost in me. So I'm not going to share today. I don't have anything to share. I don't have anything specific. I mean, I could talk about Uganda being an open state sanctuary for illegal migrants from the US. I could speak about this DMV or this area military takeover. There are things to share, but I don't want to get too complicated or too deep or too controversial. I think I'm going to speak about my school, as this is the whole purpose of me reminding myself what I'm doing, staying consistent. If I get a job, I will share about my job, and but the purpose of this YouTube channel is to share about my experience and what I think and what I see, what I observe. So yesterday was my second day of school, and I had such a wonderful professor. He and it's obviously was advanced microeconomics. So we talked about policies because we were in DC. So if you're in Silicon Valley, the main topic is going to be obviously technology. If you're in New York City, the main topic is going to be real estate and finance. And if you're in DC area, the main topic is going to be policy, right? So it you I was in I learned something yesterday in my class, my lecturer, something that I didn't know. I knew it, but I didn't know how applicable it was. So I learned how consumer make decisions. Like I knew this a long time ago from my undergrad economics, of course, but because my undergrad was so big, like we had too many students, about 300 students. By now we are like 10, 15 graduate students, so it's easy to listen to a professor. There's no noise going on, nobody's on their phones, like, so it's like this genuine sharing and understanding each other. So it's pretty wonderful. It takes me back to my, I don't know, maybe middle school. I don't know, like a long time ago when I was in school with very few kids in a classroom, private school. So it was such a wonderful experience, and I want to say I'm excited. Of course, it's expensive, so I don't know how I'm gonna pay for it, so I'm gonna go to the financial aid and see if I can get some more help. But I just enjoy the classroom. I think I'm learning so much, and the fact that I'm now doing an initiation, doing videos like this, so it was wonderful. One of the things that I learned is how you can map or understand consumer choices or consumer preferences. And one of the examples Professor gave out, obviously, is the coffee, right? When you go to a coffee shop and you buy one coffee and you pay $5 for a coffee, a cup of coffee, that $5 is equivalent to the coffee according to you, right? You decide to say, $5 is equal to the coffee, the cup of coffee. Personally, I will not spend $5 on a coffee, or I will not spend $10 on a luxury meal or fast food. So I could spend $10 on a burrito, right? Mexican burrito, and that's because burrito contains meat, beans and all those veggie protein stuff, right? So those are preferences, and each individual is different. So the economists, actually, they are somehow the same thing as the physicists or mathematicians, because they use math. And in one of the mathematics subject they use is called derivative. Derivative works hand in hand with the functions. So you input the functions and you expect the output of that functions. So if the consumer goes into the coffee shop and they spend $5 and then they get a cup of coffee, they might not be able, they are going to enjoy it, right? But as you give them another coffee, they might drink it and then they become full, like they get satisfied. But if you give them more coffee and more coffee and more coffee, at some point they will start to value the amount of coffee they're getting, if it's worth it, $5. And if they realize that they're already satisfied, they don't need more coffee, they are going to reduce the amount of money they can pay. So you have to reduce the price if you want to keep serving more coffee. So you have to lower the price from $5 to, like, let's say $3. And if they think $3 is equivalent to a coffee, a cup of coffee, they will pay for it. But if they get even more satisfied, like more satisfied and more full with, and they are tired of coffee, so at some point you're gonna give them even free coffee, and they wouldn't take it. They will get mad, like, I don't need more coffee. We know this from children, right? Children do eat so much at some point and they stop. When you look at the children, they say breastfeeding from their mom, they breastfeed and at first they cry, right? They cry because they need breastfeeding, and then at some point, as the mom give them more milk, at some point they get tired, so they hate the breast milk, like they stop breastfeeding. And this shows how humans' brain functions, and there's no way you can escape it, because economists, they use calculus, which is part of the derivative, which is part of calculus, a model that has been used by physicists and scientists, mathematicians, astronauts, dating back to 1650 to 1670s, when they discovered all this general relativity, like all these mathematical models. And the economists, they use those models to plug in human preferences, and the output, the output is the amount of likeness or preference that people want. So that is called the utility. Another scenario is when you go into an area where there's like car shops, there's like dealership, and you want to buy a car, but all the cars are the same color. Because all vehicles are the same color, if used for the same price, you start to become more, you start to choose, you start to make preferences, you start to look for things like the tires of the car, the bigger the size of the car. If the size is the same, you start to look for the future, like safety feature, or the seat, or the music. Like you start to look for small things. Then if everything's the same, you even go further to make other preferences, like asking a family member or looking up on Google reviews to see which one is the best. All of these decisions are made by humans when they are consuming anything. It's also made by firms, like companies make preferences. And this brings me to my this is why I went to graduate school, because I would have learned these things. I learned these things in school. I remember taking my advanced microeconomics in school. I learned these things, but I did not grasp them. Like I did not connect the dots with the policy. I also took calculus class. I took pre-calculus, calculus 1, calculus 2, right? So advanced math, but I never really like connected. I never learned. I never understood. Like I can see the graph. I can read the graphs, but I just never connected the dots. So with this class now I understand why economics uses math. Economics uses math to understand human behavior. It's not the same thing as behavior economics. That's totally different, I think. But for the pure economics, applied economics, using mathematical models, whether it's complex, whether it's simple as derivative, it gives us an answer to why consumers make choices. And this is very crucial, because I remember when I worked for factory companies like Tesla, they had a huge board on the screen that counts how many vehicles are being manufactured. This is where economics and engineering and software engineering come together. A software engineer builds a software, and an engineer designs a vehicle, and then an economist creates a demand. And a company like Tesla, the CEO Elon Musk goes on Twitter, goes on a show, and he announces a new car like Cybertruck. Then people immediately puts in the order, and then the manufacturer starts manufacturing more and more cars to meet the demand. And then the screen starts to count. So the function is the amount of cars you put in, the amount of demand that goes into it, and the outcome, the amount of cars you manufacture. It's kind of fascinating when you look at the mathematics, and now I understand why math is, because it's such an abstract subject, most people don't understand it. And because it's an abstract, you don't understand it because it can't really apply to the real world. You can see math in real life. You see things like cars, but it's hard to grasp how a car is made of math. The way it's designed, the size of the tire, the speed it goes, the humans who fits in there, right? The weight, and all of those things are calculated, but we don't really see them, right? Because it's just an abstract. It needs to be applied to the real world. And this is why the United States and the many countries around the world, they could have invested in something else. They could invest in something like, military, like US investing in military, but they focus specifically on engineering. China could invest in their own people, right? Give them welfare, whatever, right? But they invest in technology, like many Chinese engineers, software engineers, and mathematicians, because no matter what you do in life, you need math, and there's nothing like using math to make people's lives better. Like knowing math, you can study economics. Knowing math, you can be an engineer. Knowing math, you can do software engineering. You can do a lot of things, right? So to me, it was a fascinating field, and I didn't want to share this, but I was not expecting to have these ideas come out of my head and trying to speak the way I heard, what I see. So that's the end of the video. Like always, Ciao, ciao. Bye bye.